As per the latest that we have at this point, the mortal remains of General Vipin Rawat will be brought to the Indian capital tomorrow. The all-important Cabinet Committee on Security meet is going to be chaired by the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. It is going to be an unprecedented CCS taking place at an absolutely unfortunate time like this, taking stock of the situation, and that is when we await further details on the way forward, also in terms of the rituals. The Indian Air Force chopper crash that took place earlier this morning. The general, along with his wife and 11 others, have passed away as a result of that chopper crash. The Indian Air Force Mi-17 chopper crashed near Kunnur in the state of Tamil Nadu. The cause of the crash is still not known, and an inquiry has been ordered to ascertain the cause. At 11:47 a.m. IST, the helicopter departed from the Sulur base in Tamil Nadu, and just 33 minutes later, the chopper, as per the details that we have, caught fire and crashed. The chopper was just 10 kilometers away from its arrival point, the Wellington Defence Staff College, which is also in the same state. The locals then rushed to the spot and tried to control the blaze. And at around 2:30 p.m. IST, which is nearly 90 minutes after the crash, the blaze was finally doused. And just a short while back, the Indian Air Force putting out that official statement announcing that absolutely unfortunate piece of news. General Vipin Rawat, the first Chief of Defence Staff of India, his wife Madhulika Rawat and 11 others have passed away as a result of that tragic chopper crash. Let's go across now to our correspondent Siddhant Sibul, who has been tracking all those developments. Siddhant, any update on that CCS meeting that is going to be chaired by the Indian Prime Minister?
Well, as of now, there is no word on the CCS meeting, but it is expected to start and perhaps is underway starting at 6:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. It's way past that time, but it's expected to take crucial decisions. We can expect an official announcement by the government after that crucial CCS meeting, because not only the CCS meet will take a call as to the rituals and the ceremonies which are expected, the announcement of morning as well, but also there can be little discussion on who the next CDS will be. General Vipin Rawat is someone who changed the security establishment by many initiatives when it comes to reform, something that the Indian Prime Minister has lauded in his tweet, calling him a patriot as well. But how to take it forward, because when it comes to this institution that has been created, this is something that was essentially a reform process in which General Vipin Rawat had a huge stake. He was essentially coming out with new processes and, of course, initiatives in the Indian Defence Forces. But now we can expect the entire some kind of discussion on that. The mortal remains of General Vipin Rawat will be reaching here in Delhi tomorrow, as we were talking about. But also the Indian Defence Minister will be making an official statement in the Indian Parliament tomorrow, giving the details of what happened when it comes to this tragic development which happened earlier today. Also, we can expect more statements by the political leaders. We know that immediately after the announcement of the demise of General Vipin Rawat by the Indian Air Force, we saw a slew of tweets by the Indian Defence Minister, the External Affairs Minister, Home Minister and other ministers as well. And of course, the Indian Prime Minister has also tweeted out a tweet statement.
Right. Siddhant, if I can also ask you to elaborate for our viewers your interactions with the Chief of Defence Staff. As you were mentioning earlier, he had this particularly candid way of also interacting with the media personnel.
Well, yes, of course, he was quite frank, and there were occasions at various meetings. In fact, I remember one such meeting at the 2+2 India-Australia 2+2 meeting just before the press statements. He just came inside the hall, the briefing hall, and of course, where we all were standing, the media personnel, and interacted with us, freewheeling interaction with us as to what transpired. And of course, he has his own view when it comes to the security challenges which he used to brief about, especially the two-front war India faces by Pakistan and China. But he has this ability to immediately make a connect and remember people. That is something that many, and in fact most of us, will remember him for. But in the past, when it comes to his pressers, they have been giving headlines. He was someone who had views on everyone. He was not someone who took a cautious view over certain subjects. Remember, he was one of the first person from the Indian establishment to talk about a direct contact with Taliban way before even the Ministry of External Affairs had talked about it publicly. He once said at an event that India should talk with Taliban, and that's in 2019. So that is something that at that time was considered a bombshell in terms of the statement by someone who is in the top echelons of the Indian establishment. But thereafter, we have seen comments on various subjects. In fact, he was to take part in an event today, and in just last week, I met him last week. I saw him last week at the Navy Chief's event, at the Navy Day, at the residence of the new Navy Chief, and he was spotted in the Parliament as well just 2 days ago. He was supposed to take part in more events in coming few days, but essentially in media, when it comes to, he will be remembered fondly.
Right. Siddhant, also, if you can tell us more about what's happening on the ground in Coonoor. We understand the Indian Air Force chief was on his way to the crash site. Any further updates that we have?
Well, as of now, no details have been given out, but what we have learned is, when it comes to the ground situation, the focus is to bring back the mortal remains of General Vipin Rawat, his wife, and other officials as well who died in this tragic incident. The mortal remains will arrive tomorrow, and we know that earlier today, the Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, the Air Force Chief, visited the residence of General Vipin Rawat, where his family members are present. Many of his family members are coming from outside of Delhi later today, and we have been talking about what the government plans to do. Next 2 days can be in focus in terms of the rituals and the ceremonies that will take place, given he was the top military chief of India, and someone who has a lot of respects both inside the forces and outside the forces as well. So next few days will be important. We can expect some kind of announcement later today after the CCS, the Cabinet Committee on Security, concludes. And this is a body that meets rarely. The meeting of CCS means that something grave has happened. I remember the last major CCS that happened was in the aftermath of the fall of Kabul, the Taliban takeover in the month of August. And now this CCS is taking place. And it's going to take call on many issues, including who perhaps could be the next CDS. He was the first CDS and will be always remembered for his role in reforming the Indian forces and taking and calling on tough decisions.